Hey guys. Alright, so this is going to be the last lesson today. Alright, we're going to talk about some commas in this lesson, okay? We're going to use commas and figure out ways that we're supposed to use commas. So my first question is, did you have a good Christmas? Alright, some people yes, some people no. What did you get? Yeah, because even if you got presents you don't like, you got something for Christmas, I'm sure. Alright, so normal presents for kids. I bet some of you got PlayStations. Some of you might have got Switches. You maybe got clothes. You might have got some Poppets. You might have even got some bikes. These are just presents that you might have gotten for Christmas. Did any of you get these things? Yeah, I figured some of you did. So, alright, if I was going to tell a list of things that kids got, because if I told all of these things, it would be like a list, like a group of things. Would I want to say, the kids got PlayStations and Switches and Poppets and clothes and bikes? No, too many ands, right? Wouldn't I say that the kids got PlayStations, Switches, Poppets, clothes, and bikes? I only need one and right before the last thing, right? The kids got PlayStations, Switches, Poppets, clothes, and bikes. I don't need a bunch of ands in between all of them. Too many ands. So, is this sentence correct? A few of you have realized that you're right. It's still not correct. Because if I have a list of things or a group of things and I put them all in a sentence, like this is my list or my group of the things that the kids got, PlayStation, Switches, Poppets, clothes, and bikes, I have to put a comma in between each thing or after each thing except the last thing. So to make this sentence correct, you have to put a comma after everything in the list or the group except for the last thing. So bikes is the last thing, it doesn't need it. Now this sentence is correct. This is called commas in a series. A series just means a group or a list. So when you have a bunch of stuff in a group or a list, you have to put a comma after everything except the last thing. Have you guys heard this rule before? I bet you have. We talked about this in 2nd grade. You talked about it in 3rd grade. But just to make sure that we get it, we're hitting it one more time in 4th grade. So we're going to practice this just a little bit before I set you loose and let you practice. Alright, so we've got some sentences here and they all have groups or lists. Can anybody find the list in number 1 here? There's a list of something. It's a list of stores. Yeah, Sears, Walmart, and Target. Those are all stores. What do we have to do if we have a list of things? Yeah, you put a comma after everything in the list except the last thing. So to make this sentence correct, you'd have to say he went to Sears, Walmart, and Target. And I don't need a comma after Target. Alright, do you see a list of something in this sentence? What's the list? Oh, it's a list of things you play. Baseball, soccer, football, and basketball. So to make this sentence correct, you have to put a comma after everything in the list except the last thing. So baseball, soccer, sorry, there's another siren going off, football, but you don't need it after basketball because that's the last thing. A comma after everything in the list except the last thing. That's the rule. Alright, do you see a list of something in this sentence? Yeah, it's a list of things they bought. Apples, bananas, grapes, and cookies. It's a list of things they bought. So remember, to make it correct, you have to put a comma after everything in the list except the last thing. So cookies is the last thing, don't put a comma. And if you've noticed, they've only used one and too. You don't need to say Sears and Walmart and Target, baseball and soccer and football and basketball. No, just one and at the right before the last thing. Alright, so let's try these last two. What's the list in this one? Yep, it's a list of animals. Lions, tigers, bears, monkeys, and snakes. That was a big long list, so remember, you've got to put a comma after everything in the list except the last thing, so that would be snakes. Alright, what about a list in this sentence? What's the list? Very good. Oh, that's not the list. It's a list of money, a dime, a penny, and a quarter. So you have to put a comma after everything in the list except the last thing, which is quarter. Now we've practiced with commas in a series or commas in a row. Do you guys kind of get where the commas go and what we're doing here? Alright, I hope so. When you get into your lesson, it's going to be an IXL lesson. Yep, it's an IXL lesson. So when you get into it, if you're having trouble, send me a message and I can help you, okay? And we're going to practice this tomorrow in our live lessons, okay? Alright. Good job, guys. And this is your last lesson for today. Bye, guys.